Hello, and welcome to Global Wellness for All podcasts. My name is Laleh Hancock, and I'm going to be your host every week, every Tuesday at 2 p.m. Lisbon time, as we do this journey and adventure of wellness in all parts of our lives. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Global Wellness for All podcast. I'm your host. My name is Laleh Hancock, and we are here to share the voice of your bodies, your life out in the world, and finding ways that we truly need to add wellness way beyond nutrition and exercise. Having wellness in our way of thinking, in our way of being, in our relationships, our finances, our business. And when we bring all of this oneness together, it's amazing what can get created. So for today, I am so excited to introduce you to my guest, Caroline Lamb. And welcome, Caroline. How are you?
Very good. Thank you, Layla.
One thing I love is your beautiful voice coming from the UK. And one of the things that really intrigued me and why I brought you here to share your voice and what you're doing out with the world was it's incredible. I don't even know, I'm going to let you tell me all of that, but what you guys have done with movement, with dance, and bringing people together of all life, all ages is just magnificent. So can you just share with everyone watching or listening a little bit more about you and kind of what intrigued you to get this thing started?
Yeah, sure, Layla. Well, the thing was, at a certain point, I became old as a dancer. So my training was as a dancer and in fact as an actor as well. And for many years I danced and choreographed in a variety of places and styles. And at a certain point, come about sort of 40, which is the age at which often dancers, certainly ballet dancers, think about retiring. I started to feel that my body was changing, and was I going to be able to do the kind of things that I used to be able to do? And if I couldn't, what was going to happen? Was I going to have to leave dance altogether? Or could I, in effect, reinvent myself? And this began to bother me more and more. And I had already set up a company. The company is called Striking Attitudes, as in strike an attitude. And I decided that essentially we should start to concentrate on the older dancer and, what we could do in that field, in that area. And really a lot of it was about changing public perception of what a dancer is and what a dancer can be. And my feeling is that although one cannot do the athletic things that you used to be able to do, the fact is you've lived quite a long life and you have a lot of experiences, life experiences in your body. And I'm sure some of your listeners will know about Martha Graham, who was, of course, American and was I think in the world's perception, the mother of contemporary dance, of modern dance. That was my training, in fact. And she said this wonderful thing. I'm trying to remember the exact words, and I can't, of course, remember the exact words, but basically she said that inside everybody, there is an interior landscape which shows itself in movement. And I feel that this is really the essence of what we're doing now, which is trying to promote the idea that although you may be older, you can't do what you did, you still have an awful lot to say. And all your experiences are sort of etched into your body. And consequently, when you see the older dancer perform, although they may not be running around the stage and hurtling around, throwing themselves into lots of crazy shapes, they've got an awful lot to say, and their performances are often very powerful and underlined, with the lives they've lived.
Yeah.
So that's really where I'm coming from. And as I say, as an older dancer and choreographer myself, I decided to pursue this path, and we now run a company that concentrates on the older dancer. And really, I suppose we talk about, we're primarily working with people over the age of 50. Our oldest member is in their mid-80s. I have done work with people as old as a lady I remember well, up the side of a mountain in Wales where we were filming. She was 92 years old. So yeah. So,
that is so exciting.
yeah, it was actually very exhilarating, and she was great. She was really plucky, and I mean, I think a lot of it, of course, is in the mind. How we perceive ourselves, how we think about what we can do and what we can offer. And as I say, one of our goals is to try and change the public perception of what a dancer is, so that as you're looking at a stage filled with older bodies, what is there not to like, in a way, because they have so much to say. So this is the route we're pursuing now, and we run creative sessions for older dancers, both trained and untrained bodies. So in the current group I'm working with, we have a mix of people, some people who are professionals, trained professionals, but older, and therefore not dancing in the same way they were. And then we also have people who've never done any dance before, but enjoy moving with their bodies, enjoy the creativity and the self-expression that movement offers. So it is it's quite a wide-ranging group of people, and we've done many productions where we have a mix of older professional dancers and older community dancers, and I think that's a great joy, actually, and it brings something very specific. That the untrained body, if you like, brings something very specific, and it's often a passion inside, that they love to move, they love to dance. They may not have spent their life earning money doing it, but they love it. And I suppose the same is true, actually, with the older professional, that one has done it for so long, and to not do it, it's very much part of who you are. I mean, speaking from experience, I feel that when I'm dancing, when I'm performing, moving, whatever it is, I feel twice as alive as when I'm just me in an ordinary context. And I think, moving is it's something that we all do. Our bodies are designed to move, of course, and moving with a certain creative impulse behind the movement, it can be, exhilarating, it can be thrilling, it can be very exciting. And of course, everybody needs an outlet for creativity. Yeah. And I believe this contributes, very much to our well-being.
Well, I mean, we're born and we love to dance. It doesn't matter how old you are, how young you are. It's just movement. Like you said, our bodies love movement. And I think that's one of the things when I work with clients, the misconception for many is movement equals exercise. Yes. Or, wellness equals your nutrition, your vitamins. Like, your body has all these things that it requires, but it's not limited to one thing. And each person has to figure out what is that for them.
Yeah.
My ex-husband loved to cycle, and he would do 15,000 miles a year on his bike in addition to traveling every week for business. Like for him, that's what gave him not just strength physically, but mentally be able to be creative and be able to have more ease and joy in his body and his life. And if he didn't ride, oh goodness, it was a whole other world. But that's what he had identified as his outlet. And we have to find, what is that for us? And, one thing I was chatting with you about before we started this today is how much it's changed. You used to be in a studio. There was a place where people would come uninterrupted, and now with the world changing, everything had to change. Your business had to change. And now from a studio where everyone comes in person, now you've brought it online. So, I think that's the other piece that I would love for you to share is striking attitudes online, and what you've noticed, truly the difference, and maybe things that even were maybe initial challenges at the beginning that turned into be more possibilities.
Yes, indeed. It certainly was a challenge at the beginning, particularly for me, because I'm not a very tech person. So it was quite a struggle to try and work it all out. But fortunately, Janet, our rehearsal director, is quite good on technology, and she was having to work, actually. She teaches some younger students, and she was having to work online and learn, how the Zoom process, or Zoom land, as she calls it, how that works. So yes, it was a huge challenge, because obviously the age group we're working with, the older age group, 50 plus, is the sort of danger group, in effect. I mean, if you get it when you're older, it's not so great, I think. So we pretty immediately had to close down our studio classes, and we applied to the Arts Council of Wales for some funding, which they had thrown out to people, the cultural groups who were struggling with COVID. And they very helpfully, have funded us and supported us to sort of help us carry on for a short while whilst we kind of find our feet and how it's all going to work. And literally, and so yes, we went online, and the sessions, I should say, also are creative sessions, in the sense that, yes, we do a warm-up, yes, we do some initial kind of, if you like, exercises so that we're nice and warm and ready to go. But after that, it's creative work. You could call it choreographic work, but that often puts people off, and there's no need really to call it that, in a way. So I throw out ideas. I often give a little movement starting point, or I work with poetry, I work with music. I often work actually with paintings and images from paintings. Those are starting points and a theme. For instance, currently we're working on the theme of water, and so yeah, we've done 3 or 4 sessions on that. And last Wednesday we introduced actually having a bowl of water in your room that you're working in, and we were working with the water. Not throwing it around the room or anything, keeping it quite contained, but of course that's all about touch and sense, sensory experiences, a lot of which we're struggling with at the moment. And if you live on your own, you maybe not going to come into contact with people, you're not going to get that sense of being touched. And so this was a kind of way in. So yeah, we're dealing with the working online, and I think the way to think about it is that it's a different way of working from being in the studio. And obviously the joy of being in the studio, and one of the main things about dance is that it's about bodies together in a space, often touching. So we we don't have that at the moment. So what we have discovered is there's a thing which I'm sure you probably know about called breakout rooms. And so we've just started using that. So we can take people in twos, put them in a breakout room together, give them some images that we've worked with, a little bit of movement material, and then they can start to create a kind of duet together. And so this is a way of, you know, communicating and trying to work together. That's starting to work well. And I think, as I may have said already, it's very much about thinking this is a different thing that we're doing. It's not the same as being in the studio. It's different. So we with that mindset, and it's starting about how does the thing that you're doing look on the camera, you know. So that's a whole new way of thinking about it, which is certainly proving a good stimulation, I would say, a good challenge.
Yeah, and you know, the new world doesn't look anything like the world we were in, and the future is so blank slate. Like we get to create it the way we want. So I'm fascinated by what you've done. It sounds magnificent. So how do people find out about you? Like, where do they go? Can you share a little bit where, if someone is interested in being part of your program, that they can sign up?
Yes, indeed. Well, currently we are in the middle of creating a new website, which will be appropriate for the place that we're in now. So I would ask your viewers, your listeners, perhaps to hold fire a little, in the sense that our new website is not up and running. Our old website is, and we have, that's strikingattitudes.com. And we have an email address, which is strikingattitudes@gmail.com. So if any of your viewers were interested, they could certainly contact us and we could give them all the details. I mean, currently we're running sessions on particularly on a Wednesday at 5 o'clock, that's our British time. So so they're running for about an hour and a half, because we find at the moment that's enough, because Zoom, as you know, is quite an intense experience. And we start with a gentle warm-up, and you know, we move into this creative area. And that's the area that I think particularly gives people a sense of wellness, you know, of being alive, of being in contact with their bodies, not only their bodies, though, their hearts, their minds, their souls. You know, it fulfills a lot of, it covers a lot of areas, I would say. So I think that would be the best way, probably, is to contact us via the email.
Okay. Well, I'm so grateful that you joined me today, and learning about you and what you're doing with Striking Attitudes is just such an inspiration. So thank you so much, Caroline. And for everyone listening, we look forward to having you on our next show on the Global Wellness for All podcast. Thank you for being here. And remember, please, where can we share this so that the rest of the world knows that they can have wellness in all parts of their lives? So we'll see you soon, Caroline. Thank you so much.
Bye-bye. Thank you.
Thank you for being here with us, whether you were listening or watching. We are so grateful for you, and we need your help. We would love to spread the seeds of wellness all around the world. Will you assist us? You can subscribe below. You can subscribe in Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest, Spotify, iTunes, YouTube. We are everywhere. And we ask, would you be willing to actually spread this to others that you may know who can actually be contributed with the tools and resources to bring more wellness into their life and into their bodies?